All right, let's talk a little bit more about some Bitcoin and Litecoin and whatnot. Now, the other day, we had, again, Webbot, prior to just recently, when I shared with you, first of all, I did the summary, the Webbot summary. It was a 3-part video. Before that, literally like that morning, I think, I mentioned that, or maybe it was the morning before, but I mentioned, hey, the Webbot report's out. I'm going to study it, read it, and then do a summary. But I also mentioned I had a little email conversation with Cliff High, who is the Webbot owner, and we talked about Bitcoin and this and that he was previously talking about Bitcoin hitting like $345 was like a target. And that would mean sometime in the near future, precious metals would start rising again. I actually asked him, are you seeing like $5 a day moves like some of the previous Webbot reports were talking about before going to $20 a day moves in silver? And he said, no. And I said, or generally speaking, are you just seeing precious metals will start to rise? And he said the latter, not specifics of price-wise or how much per day. Just metals are in for a little surprise to go up sometime in the near future after Bitcoin hits 345. Now, another guy on my website who knows a lot about Bitcoin, his name is Northblade, Litecoin, all that stuff. He had a conversation with Cliff after I did, after Bitcoin exploded, which is what we're fixing to talk about right now. It blew past 345. Matter of fact, it was 390 when I talked about it. And then it pulled back to 300. So it dropped 25% overnight, over that weekend. It has since gone to around $900 for Bitcoin. And Litecoin, which was like $3.90 or thereabouts, $4, had gone up to excuse me, $9. So the other day when I gave you that statistic, when Litecoin were selling for 7 cents, and I did a little math and said what it would be at like $4, and I think that was, or was it $2? I don't even remember, but whatever it was, you could have turned $1,000 into $66,000. Well, that pretty much doubled after what Litecoin just did. That $1,000 investment would have turned into $130,000, $140,000. Had you been in on Litecoin when it was 7 cents in January of this year. Again, I know it's a cryptocurrency. It's kind of like an online fiat currency. It's backed by nothing. It's digital. It's acting like a stock, a share. So it is absolutely dangerous to play in. And as I just said, it just hit $9 a few days ago and immediately crashed down to like mid 500s. And then it's been bouncing around to around $6, like right this second, it's $615 as I'm doing this video. It looks like it was right at 600. Was that earlier today? Earlier this morning, it was right at like $600, I think. But so anyways, I mean, this is extremely volatile. It's dangerous to play it. But again, if you would have got in the early stages, oh my God. So back to the Webbot stuff a little bit here. He said that 345 is what he told me. But after speaking with Northblade said that Cliff said, excuse me, he may have gotten the zero wrong, not 100% sure. In other words, it could have been $3,450, whatever, 345 or 340-ish means not 340, but 3,400 could be the level that it goes to. But again, I know for a fact, Webbot, this is one of the side effects that you just cannot ever trust in the Webbot. When they give numbers and stuff, that decimal point is many, 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 many times knowingly off. It's either over too far one way or the other. So that $345 could be $3,400, etc. So the fact that it never came close to that kind of price, I mean, it hit 250 once briefly, dropped back down to 70 something, hovered around 100, touched 150, back down to 100, back to 150, and then just kind of sat there. Then it explodes past 250, 300, 350, 390. Then I say, hey, Cliff High, didn't you mention something? He says yes. So that was breached. Now, if the decimal point is in the wrong place, then we need to wait for Bitcoin to go to $3,490 or whatever, around $3,400. I don't know if that's going to happen personally, but it could. The traders could push this thing out of control to make some quick cash. They could do that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know for sure, but I tend to feel like that $345 is really what was solid that the Webbot saw. Therefore, sometime in the near future is when we can expect precious metals to rise. In the next video I'm fixing to do, I don't know if it'll be right after this one or the one after the one I do next. I got them in order that I need to do. I'm going to talk about silver, the bullish charts, the long-term charts, everything that is showing right this second, including the fact that they've predicted gold should bottom or get close to bottom at $1,200, and right now it's like $1,250, $1,260, and this was said days ago. That there's going to be a big sell-off potentially, and it's happening, and then it's setting it up for the bull run, which means price rise, which would coincide with the Webbot saying $345 Bitcoin first, then you get a rise in precious metals shortly, near future afterwards. And looking at that data, looking at what some of the experts are showing that I took in to tell you, makes plenty of sense. The charts aren't lying as far as that low trend line. It's absolutely ready to go up. So it makes sense to me, I guess is what I'm saying. But right now, Bitcoin is 620. Litecoin charts, I'm not sure. Let's take a peek real quick. Litecoin, 650, that's Bitcoin. Litecoin, 7.2. So basically $7 right now for Litecoin. And to keep in mind, just the other day it was 4. And I was talking about, man, if it goes back down to 2, around there, I'm probably going to go ahead and get in it. It didn't go back down to 2, so I've been waiting. Unfortunately for me and others, it's now $7. It peaked at 9, dropped down to the 6s. I may have even touched the $5 range at one point, and then jump back up to where it's at now, $7.20 or whatever. So the bottom line is, I cannot sit here and tell you where I think Bitcoin and Litecoin will go. I do see this becoming a bubble in the traders across the world taking big advantage of this. I also read an article that some of the Chinese are actually buying and selling property, housing, with Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies. And when I read that, I said, in that case, there might be a whole lot more to Bitcoin than meets the eye, and Litecoin, etc. The thing is, you can't sell Litecoins. I've learned that you have to have Bitcoins, and you can convert Bitcoins into Litecoins and vice versa, but you cannot cash out of Litecoins. You have to convert it back to a Bitcoin first. In other words, it's like taking some silver coins. When you're ready to sell them, you go somewhere and say, I've got, X amount of silver. How many gold coins can I get for this big pile of silver? Oh, here's 3 coins. Okay, now you've got 3 gold coins for that pile of silver you just sold off. Now you take the gold coins and go somewhere and get cash for them. That's kind of what this is about with Bitcoin. You take the Litecoins, turn them into Bitcoins, take the Bitcoins and sell them for cash. You can get rid of them for cash. So, bottom line, this is just a Bitcoin cryptocurrency update mixed with a little bit of what the Webbot said to look for. And again, either my next video or the one after that, I'm fixing to talk about the silver charts and some interesting things to see there. So I will talk to you guys later.